Alright, so let's figure this guy out. Horobi is my mono black deck, and my mana curve isn't that bad. So I've got, let's see, 3 at 1, 3 permanents at 1 CMC, 8 at 2, 11 at 3, 14 at 4, 8 at 5, 7 at 6, 2 at 7, and 1 at 8. But the deck doesn't always give me the land I need. I've got 39 lands. Admittedly, some of those are utility lands, such as Maze of... Get the glare off. That's good enough. Okay. So some of them are utility lands, such as Maze of Ith, Cabal Coffers, which does nothing unless I have a condition met, Thawing Glaciers, which only finds other lands and it's very, very slow, but it's reliable. High Market, which is there to sacrifice creature, Lake of the Dead, which eats my lands. We've got 39 lands in the deck. And the mana curve isn't that bad off. And I recently took out the... Probably going to take him out. Recently took out the Rakasha Debaser for a Throll Parasite. So I went down from 6 CMC with the Debaser to 1 for the Parasite. It still feels like it's missing something. So what I'm going to do is, I think my initial thought is take out Witch of the Moors. Witch of the Moors, 3 black for a 4/4 death touching human warlock. So being a human, Mikaeus the Unhallowed will not bring him back if I have Mikaeus in play. So he's got Death Touch. Beginning of my end step, if I gain life this turn, each opponent sacrifices a creature, and I can return up to 1 creature from my graveyard to my hand. So it doesn't bring it back to play. I still have to cast the creature. I already have Palace Siege in the deck. So Palace Siege comes into play. Choose Concert Dragons. Let me find. Maybe I should take out the Palace Siege. Maybe that's what I don't need. Let's take a look. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. So, same casting cost, 3 black. Comes into play, choose Concert Dragons. Beginning of your upkeep, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Dragons, beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Do I really need this in this deck? So, for recursion, the deck has Vora's Stronghold, which for one colorless black tap puts a creature from a graveyard on top of my library. So I'll draw it, and I can cast it again. I also have... What else do I have for recursion? Let's see. I've got Chainer. So triple black, pay 3 life, pull a creature card out of somebody's graveyard, put it into play under my control. It becomes a Black Nightmare, in addition to whatever the hell else it is. When Chainer leaves play, exile the nightmares. So I've got that. I've also got, let's see, what else is recursion? I've got Trading Post. So, spend 1, let's see, where's it? Return target artifact, draw a card. Okay, this isn't what I thought of. I don't play this that often. I leave it in here because I think maybe it'll be good. Mainly to get my artifacts back. 1 tap, sacrifice creature, return artifact card from graveyard to my hand. But I haven't in play. I don't think I've ever had this card in play. So I don't really know how good it is, but it seems good. Seems like it should work. Doom Necromancer. 2 and a black for a 2/2 Clerical Mercenary. 1 black tap, sacrifice him, return target creature card from a graveyard to play. So I've got him going for me. Mikaeus Unhallowed. Of course, my other non-human creatures have +1/+1 and undying. What else? Shao-Dun, the One-Eyed. Sacrifice him at the beginning during my first main phase. So during the first main phase, I can sacrifice Shao-Dun and return a black card from a graveyard to my hand. Any black card. Instant, interrupt, sorcery, planeswalker, whatever, creature. And I've got him. So let's see what else. Got some other things, I'm sure. Living Death. 4 triple black, or 4 double black. Triple black. Jesus Christ! Read the fucking card. 3 double black. Everybody sets aside all the creatures in play, pulls all the creatures out of all their graveyards, put them into play under their control, and then sacrifices all the creatures. Okay. Sacrifice all the creatures that were in play. Basically, the creatures in play swap places with the creatures in the graveyard. Kind of recursion. Excuse me. Let's see. Who else have I got? What else have I got? Null Priest of Oblivion. 1 in a black. Menacing Lifelink. Actually, it costs 6. It costs 4 and 2 black because I'm not going to play it unless I'm going to kick it. If things are so bad for me that I need to spend 2 to get a 2/1 Menacing Lifelinker in play, and I cannot wait to kick it, I've probably lost the game anyway. Shouldered. Beginning of my upkeep, return target creature from a graveyard to the battlefield. So let's look at this. And I've got enough life gain, so beginning of my upkeep, each opponent losing 2 and me gaining only 2, not life lost, but just 2. I don't think I really need this. Beginning of my upkeep, return target creature card from graveyard to your hand. Shouldered puts them into play. Of course, she costs 7, not 5. Witch of the Moors. Beginning of my, if I gain life, each opponent sack, and I can put a creature card from graveyard to my hand. Meaning, Witch of the Moors is actually better because Palace Siege, it gives my opponents, if I've got 3 opponents still in the game, 3 cycles of people that can Tormod's Crypt or Bajika Bog somehow get rid of my graveyard. Meaning, when my upkeep comes around, I'm not getting shit. This guy, as long as I gain life, at the end of my turn I get a creature back. So, probably Palace Siege is what I don't need. Probably the best thing to take out. So it's good that I do this exercise. It's good to look through your deck, think about what you're doing and why, if you see a problem with your deck. So that's probably too slow. Now, what I'm thinking about. So black doesn't have a lot of options in ramp. Basically, you have Cabal Coffers, Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth. You've got Mana Rocks, but you don't have any way of getting more lands down. You don't have Exploration, you don't have Burgeoning, you don't have Loot that allows you to play extra lands, you don't have Nature's Lore, you don't have any of that, because that's all green. So the trick is in black, if you're going to ramp, you're ramping with creatures or artifacts. I'm sure there's some exceptions that I'm missing, but for the most part, that's been my experience. Now, for Mana Rocks, I already have a Soul Ring, a Star Compass. Star Compass costs 2, comes into play tapped, and you can tap it to add a 1 mana of any color, a basic land. It taps for black because I only have swamps. I have a Jet Medallion to reduce all the casting cost of black things by 1. I have a Nyx Lotus. Nyx Lotus costs 4, comes into play tapped. Tap it, choose a color, and you get mana of that color according to your devotion to that color. So there's that. So I've already got, I basically have 3 Mana Rocks and then a Mana Reducer, the Jet Medallion. And then I've also got a Walking Atlas. Walking Atlas is cool. I'd like to get a few more. Walking Atlas, let me show it to you. Some of you might not have seen the Walking Atlas. He's been printed once, as far as I know. I don't think he's ever been... Oh yeah, and Lily of the Dark Realms. +1. Search a library for a swamp, show it to everybody, put in your hand, then shuffle. So, she finds me swamps. But I still have to use my land drop to get them into play. Let's see. Where is that Walking Atlas? Walking Atlas is a really fun card. There he is. So he costs 2. He's a 1/1 construct. Tap, put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. What's funny is, tap, you may put a... Why wouldn't you? Why would you tap him otherwise? I mean, maybe there's some trick, some reason you would want to tap a creature without getting any benefit out of it, other than the benefit of whatever you're tapping it for, but you may should be tap, put a land card from your end of the battlefield. Anyway, so I've got him. I've got Solemn Simulacrum, which is a color agnostic creature that colorless finds a land. But I think I need something more. I think I need at least one more ramp or find land card. Now what I decided is that I'm looking at anything CMC 4 or higher. So no Thran Dynamo, no Hedron Archive, none of that stuff. I did consider Skyclave Relic, but I have 2, and both of them are in decks that really need them, or can make good use out of them. So I pulled these out of my art binder, my collection of cards for commander decks that aren't currently employed. So let's look at them and decide which one will fit Horobi the best. Armillary Sphere. 2 to cast, 2 sacrifice the sphere, go find 2 basic land cards, show them to everybody, put them in your hand. So you still have to use your land drops to put them into play. But it comes down quickly. It's not that expensive to activate. But as far as repetition and recursion, the only card in here that will get it back so I can do it again is the Trading Post. I don't have any other way, and I'm just checking behind my screen on Moxfield, I don't have any other way in this deck of getting an artifact back. So that's one option. Then there's Burnished Hart, the old standby. 3 for a 2/2 elk. 3, sacrifice him, search the library for 2 basic land cards, put them into play tapped, and then shuffle. Now, I do have a lot of ways of getting creatures back. You saw that. The thing is, if I get him down on turn 3, then it's 1 turn cycle, but typically people don't blow up other people's Burnished Hearts. I mean, it would slow them down. It's kind of a valid target, but the games I play, people typically leave them alone until later in the game. But if they don't, then you've paid 3 for a 2/2, gets blown up, you don't get the lands, you don't get the benefit. Although, as I said, I do have a lot of ways of getting creatures back, so getting him back and then trying again isn't going to be that difficult, depending on if I have the mana to do it, which is kind of the problem I'm attempting to solve right now. So I'm leaning towards Burnished Hart to replace now Palace Siege. I was thinking which of the Moors, but looking at it, which of the Moors is going to be more reliable, and as a creature, I can get it back. Palace Siege, if it gets destroyed, the only thing that'll get it back if I want it back is Shadun. So Burnished Hart would cost 3 to activate, and I get 2 lands. And of course there's the trick where you wait, you get attacked, you block, and then you sacrifice him. There's always that. Then there's also this. I got this from, I believe I got this from Yuji in a trade. Either Yuji or Cube. One of those two had this, so I got it in trade because I thought it looked good. I like the Da Vinci sketch Journeyer's Kite. So what does this do for us? Journeyer's Kite 2, and then 3 tap. Search library for a basic land card, show it to everybody, put in your hand in the shuffle. So it's kind of like Armillary Sphere in a way. So they both cost 2 to get into play. This costs 2 to activate, but it's 1 and done. 1 shot, you get 2 lands. That's it. Piss off. This, every turn, if I have 3 mana available, I can just keep searching my library for a basic land, showing it off, and put it in my hand. Which is pretty good for the deck, and it's color agnostic. So the question is, I brought our Miller's Sphere out mainly for purposes of the discussion. I didn't seriously consider it. Well, I did consider it, but these two look like much better options. So let's think about this. Journeyer's Kite only have one way of getting back, the trading post, as mentioned with the armillary sphere. So 2 to play it, 3 to activate it, which means every turn I would spend 3 mana, barring me getting a land. So if I already have a land in my hand to play, I don't need to activate Journeyer's Kite. I would only do this on turns when I don't have a land to play, or at the end of my opponent's turn preceding me, so it'll be untapped during my turn, and I can play the land. But of course, if you do that, if you wait until the turn of the opponent preceding you, and you search the library for a basic land card, show it off, put it in your hand, then during your turn, you draw. And if you draw another land, okay, you didn't lose anything, but it feels kind of like a missed opportunity. There's that potential. Then there's this creature. So as we've discussed, 3 to activate, and I've got plenty of ways of getting back. The Witch of the Moors itself. So Witch of the Moors, I can gain life, and I've got numerous ways of gaining life. So I could put it back into my hand and do it again. But each turn, each time it costs 3 to cast and 3 to activate. This costs 2 to cast once, unless it gets destroyed and I have to get it back somehow. But 3 each time to activate. So which of these would be better? Let's look at some of the ways I have of gaining life for Witch of the Moors and look at some of the recursion. Death Deny, that's another recursive spell. Or do I even need to look deeper into this? I just need to make a decision, right? Maybe both. Maybe I want both in the deck. Maybe I should take something else out. What else would I take out? I mean, I could always take out one of the other mana rocks, but don't really want to. What else? It might not be pulling its weight. Everything is pretty tight in this. Well, this deck doesn't feel as tight as the others as far as synergy, as far as everything meshing, working together. Because I've got a lot of cards in here that are just fun cards. I've got a Stronghold Overseer in here just for fun. Stronghold Overseer, it costs 3, triple black. I believe he's a 5/5 with a shadow and flying, which is kind of retarded because if he's got shadow, he can't be blocked. Nobody plays shadow creatures, so he's unblockable. And then flying, well, he can't block because he's got shadow. So the flying and the shadow are kind of stupid to put them together. It makes no sense. I don't know why they did that. No idea. Maybe because he's a demon and he's got wings, and they just thought, it's a demon with wings, we'll give it flying. But it has shadow. Magic players are idiots and they'll buy anything. Just print it, ship it, collect the money. That could have been their argument. I can see them doing that. Where is it? There he is. Yeah, 5/5. Flying. Shadow. Black creatures. Shadow get +1/+0 until end of turn. The creatures without shadow get -1, -0. Now the reason he's in here, if I'm being attacked with a bunch of tokens, I can make them all toothless. You're getting attacked with a bunch of 2/2s, or even 3/3s, you spend 4, and they all go down. If they're 3/3s, they go down to 1. Well, that's not so bad. You can probably take that. If you can't, you're about to lose the game anyway. there really anything else to look at here? Maybe I do want both Journeyer's Kite and Burnished Hart. So let's take a quick look. I don't want to take out any lands. Maybe Thawing Glaciers. Maybe I do want to take out a land. Comes into play tapped. So I have to untap it. 1. Search the library for a basic land. And I don't have any ways of untapping this land and using it again. I don't have any... Walking Atlas can put it down. Because Walking Atlas is, you may put a land card. He doesn't care if it's basic, if it's song, he doesn't give a shit. He's like, look, Big Daddy, I'm helping you out. Tap me, put a land down, stomp shit. Alright. Good to go, my little Walking Atlas. So, I guess I don't want to take out the Thawing Glaciers because I do have that going for me. I do have that option. What else? Something big? I mean, all the big things are fun. Noxious Gearhulk. It's creature kill. Since he's divining top, I put this in to kind of help me get around the mana issues, because if I can mix up the top 3 and find a land, well, I could put on top so I could draw it and play it. If that's my problem, if that's what's going on. Card draw. Part of the Horobi package. So the idea of the deck, let me remind you all why I've got this deck, what I'm working with. So Horobi, and I chose this new version of Horobi, so the deck has a visual break, a visual separation from my original Horobi. My original Horobi deck, I ran him out as quickly as possible, and I had a bunch of things that targeted. I had a bunch of things that targeted so I could start killing my opponent's creatures. I could do one-sided board wipes at will. For example, 1000-Year Elixir. 1 tap, untap target creature. Horobi's in play, the creature dies. It's just dead. Cauldron of Souls. Choose any number of target creatures. Each of those creatures gain persist until end of turn. So before the persist trigger is even there, Horobi just kills them. Well, that stopped working because of all the random targeting bullshit that people started playing. So I took it apart, and then I rebuilt it. And the way it is now, I still have a lot of that Horobi bullshit. But it's because they're good in and of themselves. Power Matrix, for example. It's a 4-mana artifact. Tap it. Target creature... What does it give? Let me see if I can find it so I can show it to you. I think it was down here. Power Matrix is pretty... Yeah, there it is. Target creature gets +1/+1, flying, first strike, and trample until end of turn. That's just good. Cauldron of Souls. Give all my creatures persist in case of board wipes when my creatures come back. That's just good. Maze of Ith. Somebody's attacking me with a huge creature I don't want to deal with. I just maze it and send it home. Icy Manipulator. Tap target artifact, creature, or land, so it can't attack me. Or if I time it right, its activated abilities can't be used if they're tap abilities. Or I force my opponent to do it when I decide they can do it, not when they want to, not the moment that's best for them. So we still got a lot of that Horobi bullshit in there. But the deck stands on its own. It doesn't need Horobi. The way it was built before, it was around Horobi. Now, Horobi is the commander, meaning he will only enter the field of battle when his minions need his direct guidance and support. So if I have some Horobi bullshit ready to go, Cauldron of Souls for example, Icy Manipulator, and if the coast is clear, Horobi can come down and kill a few things. Other than that, the deck, I've won a few games, the ones where I didn't get mana screwed, which is most of them, without Horobi on the field at all. But now I want to figure out how to get more lands out, how to speed it up, make it more consistent without being too consistent by putting in a vampiric tutor, demonic tutor, Let's see, what else? Diabolic tutor. Without, really going crazy and putting in 5 tutors to make it really consistent. I don't want that shit. That's not what I mean. I want synergy. I want smooth mana curves. I want to cast my stuff on curve and beat the shit out of people. That's what I want to do. She's funny. She's hilarious. 4 black for a 1/1 flying vampire. Yeah, 6 mana for a 1/1. But if you do it just right, after Cube has, 8 Tyranids that all have 10 +1/+1 counters on them, she gets real big real fast because she takes all those counters and she says, "Look how big I am. I am your god now. Fear me." This is great for Horobi. Touch of Darkness, 1 black, instantly change the color of one or more target creatures to black until end turn. So Horobi says, hey, you target all these creatures. They're not going to turn black. I'm just going to kill them. Fuck them. I don't really want to take anything else out. I just want to figure out which of these is the best. Let's put it to a vote. You, my housemates, what would you vote for? Burnished Hart or Junior's Kite? Let me know. Put your vote in the comments below, and I'll go with that. I'll wait until the votes are in. I'll give it about a week. I'll give it a week, and then I'll figure it out, and then I'll do a video on who voted for what and how it went. That sounds like fun.